So thank you again. As Jane said, thank you so much for taking time out at the end of your school day to join us today for the webinar. And hopefully you've come here to find out a little bit more about the frog part of the EMS project. So today's webinar is about making frog work for your school. So we're going to be looking at quite a top level overview of the sorts of things that frog can do. You might have heard that we've just launched a mobile app, so we're going to be covering that as well. And as we go through, as Jane says, please feel free to use the chat, because we've got some of the team here from the department for education, and also we've got some of the team here from Frog that will be able to hopefully answer some of your questions. And if we can't, obviously we will get the recording from the chat and we'll get back to anybody that needs to. Okay, so a little bit about what we'll be discussing today, and I suppose I should really tell you who I am as well. So I'm Lucy, I'm the Chief Customer Officer here at Frog. That probably means nothing to you at all, but it means I look after the implementation team and the training team. So I'm kind of responsible for the health of everybody that takes on the Frog platform. I also sit with my colleagues who are on this call, and we feed into the development of Frog. Would you mind muting your mic, someone, please? I've just got a bit of feedback going on there. Thank you. Thank you so much. So what we'll be discussing today, what is Frog? Most importantly, and how can it support with your school? We'll talk a little bit about connecting with families and stakeholders, and I'll share some examples and a bit of fun from some other schools and anecdotes that I've collected throughout my 15 years of working with Frog, and then really the getting started with the platform and those tools and hints and tips that we can share with you. And at the very end, I'll hand back to Jane and she'll be talking you through next steps. Okay, right. So a little bit about our educational background. We've been working with schools, colleges, whole countries for around 25 years now. But what you're here hopefully today to see is how we've been working with the government in South Australia, how we're working as part of the EMS project, and how do you access Frog. And what you might not know is that you all have Frog already and it's completely free. So what is Frog and why would you want it? So as I mentioned, Frog is part of the EMS project. So if you think of the EMS as where you get to community portal and your data and things like that, and you think of Frog, Frog is classed as the learning management. So it's the teaching and learning element of the whole project, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So some examples of what Frog is. So I'm going to show you a few pretty pictures and talk you through them and just give you some ideas of the kind of things that you can do with Frog. Now, we recognise that every single site is different. You're all going to have different priorities. For some, it might be parental engagement or connecting with families or other stakeholders. For some people, it might be, I need to take what's in the teacher's tool bag and get that out to other people. And it might be whole school collaboration. It could be administration. It could be as simple as I just need a way to communicate to all my staff, etc. So everybody's different, but what we start with is trying to get that emotional connection into your platform. So making it feel like it's yours. So no two platforms look and feel the same. So you can completely create your own dashboards and your own personal experience for those people that you want to be in the platform. And what I mean is, it might look different for students. So if you have some younger years, you might want a nice friendly interface. For staff, you might want something a bit more with all of the links for everything that they do every day. And for parents, it could be communication and what's happening in everyday school life. So the platform can look and feel however you want it to. You can also completely design your own resources, and you can completely create your own learning spaces. Now that sounds like, oh, I've got to do a lot of work and there's a lot of things going on here. But as we go through, I'm going to show you lots of pre-built things that we have taken from schools across the globe and that we've brought here today to share with you. So having your own branding, your own language, reflecting your own identity within the platform, we've always believed is really important. And we see those that actually change things like the background and the colour schemes and make it their own, have a huge amount of engagement. So again, it's all about the kind of things that you want to share with your audience, because at the end of the day, this is your platform. This is not the Frog platform. You might choose to call it Frog, but it is your platform. It's your school platform and your identity. It's your way. So it's all about reflecting what's important to you. And you can see now as we're going through how everything is starting to look and feel a little bit different. And I'll just give you a couple of examples of how different platforms can actually look. Let me just put that on mute.
Let me just.
Oops. Lost my PowerPoint there. Let me go back to where we were. Right, there we are. So, making it yours. As you probably noticed, that every platform so far is looking quite different, and I just wanted to give you an idea of how different they can look. So on this screen here, you can see somebody's focused on art, whereas somebody is actually then focused on, oh, I need to get all of the links to all of the things that we do in school out to everybody. So it's about bringing everything in the whole ecosystem together under one roof. And again, creating things that are yours and personal. There's becoming quite a theme in here, isn't it? So I'm now going to show you a couple of ideas and some of the solutions that we have built in Frog. So although Frog is a whole learning management system, it's also quite a flexible. Yes, please feel free to pop your questions in the chat. So it's also a flexible whole school improvement toolkit, and you can go as far as you like. Most people will start with something quite simple, but again, here to show you what Frog is. So it could be that you are looking for things like, I want to build a careers action plan, or we've got schools building e-portfolios and showcasing students' work, or looking at options, or even looking beyond the classroom and things like finance portals, HR portals. Some build their website out of Frog. It could be, I want to communicate about parents' evening, school trips, lost property, clubs, events, anything that you want to. We've probably already got you a starting point that you can use within your Frog platform. And this again is just to show you whole school communication. You may want to use Frog for setting homeworks, creating journals, digital planners, and so on. There's a huge amount that you can do with Frog. So it almost becomes your one-stop shop for everything under one roof. And by taking things like documents and policies and all of that information, even school planners, by putting those online, we're hopefully helping to save you both time and money. And best of all, it's web-based. So that means if you've got an internet connection, so if your parents have got a mobile device, if your staff have got an iPad or an Android device or a laptop or a desktop, it runs on any browser. So it's fully supported access anytime from anywhere. Now, I did say that Frog is a learning management system at its heart, and it absolutely is. So whilst you've seen people create all sorts of things as they go along, it's not always the starting point. And sometimes it could be the traditional classroom-focused learning platform. And Frog has all of those tools, as you'd expect, within the platform. So whether you want to focus on a personalized learning space, Frog has a robust homework system. So you can set assignments, you can link in with Google Documents, for example. You can set those assignments to students, you can share those with parents, you can give them, if you wanted, you can share a mark book and so on. So there is a full homework system. But not only that, it needs to be easy and accessible. So giving the senior leaders amongst the school the ability to actually see some of those comprehensive management tools. So being able to look at gaps in attainment, being able to share reports across the school, being able to access a full mark book. You have all of those tools at your fingertips within the platform. You can also, as senior leaders, gain insight and access across your whole school. So if you wanted to look at in-depth insights of who's doing what, you can do. You've got full analytics available to you. And if you don't want to look at them on the platform, you can always export them, print them, save them elsewhere. But if you like data, you've got analytics in there. Frog also has a full quiz builder, and where it really shines is giving you the ability to create unique learning spaces for your school or even your classroom. You might have a class space that you want to share information about my teacher, what's going on in our class, and you might want to share those with parents, but that's where it really starts coming to life. And it also has a full quiz builder built in. So if you were looking at starters of a lesson or spaced repetition, you have the ability to create simple interactive knowledge checks and evaluate your students' learning. Okay, so I've shown you quite a lot of the whiz bang and exciting things that happen within the Frog platform, and I wanted to break this up with a couple of stories from across the globe. So I've been with Frog for around 15 years, and I've come across lots of different examples when I've been out and about, and some have been about engagement, so engaging students into the platform and how do I do that, and for others it's been about things like context, or I'm wanting to improve in a particular area. So the first story I want to share with you is about putting things into context. So I met a teacher in it was in a lunchtime. He was in the playground and he was saying to me, I had this experience where I was trying to engage a group of disengaged students in my classroom, and I was trying all sorts of things, and I was using the Frog platform and just to add different images and icons and create some lesson material for them, and they just weren't engaging. And then by chance he heard them rapping outside, and he thought, right, what am I going to do? These kids are clearly into rap, but they're really not interested in my science lesson at all. So what he did, he created Eminem's Guide to the Planets, and everything changed. He instantly had a group of disengaged boys that then started to get engaged in the platform. So what did he do after that? Well, next week he did P. Diddy's guide, so he did 50 Cent's Guide to the Invertebrates. Now, my PowerPoint has completely frozen, so I'm just going to try and do it up here. There we go. So in theory, what we're saying here is make it stick. Context is king for them. Now, I also talked about engagement, and we have another school here. They wanted the students logging on. So every single week they put a gruesome fact of the week onto their platform on the homepage. And this was purely on the student dashboard. So they were trying to get the younger students logged in and keep them logging in, because with with tech, it's great to get it off the ground, but basically you've got to keep it going, haven't you? We all know what it's like to launch a new piece of tech. So they put the gruesome facts on the week, and one, for example, was: did you know that that the average human produces 25 litres of saliva or spit? They might have used a different word in that, and that's enough to fill 2 swimming pools. Gross. And finally, we have an issue here. Well, it wasn't an issue, but my problem as a school was I really want to improve reading skills, and I want to get the students involved in reading. So this school, they spent time every month. Each of their teachers went and filmed themselves reading a story and put that onto the Frog platform. And that picture there of a teacher in a bathtub actually did happen. They did read a bedtime story in the bathroom and put that on the platform. And they saw, again, engagement in the platform go up, but also when they then met as a class, the reading skills started to improve. Now, these are just examples of what some of the schools have done, and that's just for a bit of fun. And all of these, obviously, you don't need to do in Frog, but I just wanted to bring it to life because you can. Now, the next area, so you may have heard about the mobile app, and that could be one of the reasons that you're here today, but I want to cover an area about communication. And this is probably one of the easiest and maybe one of your key starting points. So when we're talking about communication, we're talking about who are we going to communicate? So thinking about what do you want to communicate? Who do you want to communicate to? So it could be, I want to connect with parents and caregivers. So it may be that, okay, I want to share information about school trips and I want to put permission slips on the platform. It could be, I'm spending a lot of money on printing and actually I want to put my letters home on the platform. Or it could be we've got a load of policies that I'm sharing with staff and I want to actually put them somewhere so they can always access the latest version of all our school documents. It could be we've got a massive issue with lost property. Everybody are always, the kids are always leaving things behind. And actually, I want to take a photo of something that's been left behind, put it online, share it with the parents and let them come and claim it. So it's all about what are you trying to do? It could be term dates. It could be celebrating success. So what are you trying to do and who are you sharing this with? And we have created and launched the Frog Go app. Now, there's been a lot of rumours going along that we're going to charge for the Frog Go app, but it is like the Frog platform, completely free, and you already have it. The Frog Go app is a companion to the platform, and that's giving you access to your Frog platform on the mobile device to whoever you choose to have access to it. It's not Frog's mobile device. Again, like your platform, it's you, it's yours. So you can choose what is displayed within the mobile app. So all of those things that you have decided that you are going to do as a school, it might be that within the app, you only want to have maybe a notice board or some chats or some announcements or my school calendar. It's your app, so it's not Frog's app. And within the app, I mentioned communication. So there are a couple of areas that are really key to communication. And the first one is called chats. Now, chats is a little bit like WhatsApp, but with safeguarding. So the app has been designed in partnership with schools that we've met with and sites, and we've been through a whole trial working with the department and working with 20 sites in SA, and we have launched the mobile app. But the chats are, if you think of, perhaps you have parents that are involved in the bus after school, or you have a trip group. You set up your chat group you choose who's in it, and those parents or students or even staff members can communicate to each other. And we have had a really lovely story about a group of a school that wanted to communicate with a group of students because they were out on a trip, but they were nervous because using WhatsApp or something like that, they were storing the mobile numbers. And with the chats, it's within the Frog platform. So you don't have access to all of that data. You don't have the worry of having to wipe them afterwards. And you have complete control and oversight of what's going in to the chat. The next one is announcements. So a slightly different user case here. Announcements could be set at school level. So it may be that you want to send an announcement to all staff that this has happened. There could be an incident, it could be school closure, it could be all sorts of different things, but you can send that instant announcement out. You could send it to parents and caregivers if you want to. But the beauty here is when you send an announcement out, you can choose to have replies back to your announcement, but they only come to you. They are private replies. So we've all heard stories of parent groups where everybody's seeing each other's stuff in the group and it's not completely clean. This way, if you want to set your announcement, you write your announcement, you send it, and you choose whether you want people to reply or not, but you can't see each other. So it's a great tool for improving whole school communication. I mentioned the app looks and feels like your platform. So if you've put some nice design or colours on your platform, that's how the dashboard could look within the app. So it's great to be able to share school life within the platform. And if you were using things like the assignments, you may want to share that within the mobile app. So for a parent, they might be able to see what homework has my child been set, when is it due, and then I can follow up with them. It might be that you are just setting a task that a task for your class as a teacher and saying, I'd like you to go and have a look at the weekends at some leaves or something like that, and take a photograph and share that back to the class within the app. And the big one that my colleague who's on the chat here today has been working so hard to get out to you all has been journals. Now, journals has literally just been launched to everybody. And if you think of journals as a record of achievement, so you can set a journal or a little portfolio and you can take photographs and send it to them. You could have a class journal, you could have school journals, but it's all about gaining insights into the child's learning. You can share those with parents, you could share it with classes, you can like it, you can comment on it. And as senior leaders, you can get a visual heartbeat of everything that's going across the whole school. So it gives you that ability to really bring that to life. And again, this is all part of the Frog Go app and it's completely free. So you might be here today just to have a look at, I've got one app and I want to see if the Frog version is going to fit my needs. So hopefully it is. Now, I've shown you a lot of exciting things, but actually what we want to do is tell you how you can get started and what tools have we got for you. So it is actually really easy to get going. So we have onboarding and implementation support. We have schools for you to talk to. We've built a whole South Australian community online full of frog ideas, full of useful tools, full of ribbits in there. We have marketing support. So if you're looking to launch the platform, you might want to put posters or screensavers or things like that. And we even have an e-learning area where you could bring keen staff or champions on board to do a bit more learning. But you already have it. So where you have the EMS, you can log in, you can click onto the learning management, and you already have Frog. So to get you started, we also have some dashboards. So everybody's going to have a different entry point. We've kind of covered that. But whether you are a preschool, a primary school, you have special educational needs, you're an area school, we have various dashboards that are pre-built for you to edit and make your own. So we don't expect you to just start. So for example, here you can see we've put together a nice preschool dashboard, very simple. It's got information of journals in there, messages, notice boards, useful links. We have much broader templates or dashboards ready for you that have all sorts of information about my school day, my school. And because it's Frog and it's flexible, everything that we give to you, we show you how to edit and make it yours. So it all comes with an edit button. You can delete bits you don't like. You can add bits that you do like. You can change your language, the layout, the look and feel. And we have lots of different themes, so colour schemes and layouts for you to be able to choose from. So we're not expecting you to just get an empty box and get going. I mentioned we have the Frog community. Now you can see on here there's a nice big circle, but you probably won't be able to see what it says on it. But when you log into the Frog community, you'll find ribbits, which are snippets of information from around the globe and in South Australia. Or it could be a new feature or a new product that we've launched. That we're getting out to you. So it could be a new feature that we've said, right, we've got one of these, do you want to install it? It's all about communicating with you all the time, what's going on. The big circle here is to give you an idea of where you might go with Frog. So everybody's different. You're all going to have different pain points and different areas that are important to you. So when you look at the wheel on the South Australian community, if you click things like parental engagement or whole school communication, you'll be able to drill down and then get some ideas of what that could look like. And we have also something called the Frog Store. So within your platform, you're going to be able to navigate to the Frog Store. And in there, you can start browsing and having a look at some of these pre-built solutions that I was talking to you about. So the idea being you log in, you go and have a look. It could be a product, it could be a theme or a template. And you can look around, read the description, see if that's going to work for me. And if it is, all I would do is click the big install on my platform button. And there's lots of different things. So we've built content sites, whole school solutions like you're looking at the beginning, and they're all ready for you. You click install on my platform, it's there on your platform, and you can choose to do what you want with it. So it's all ready to go. We also have e-learning. So you may find that as you start to gain momentum, there may be somebody pop their head up and want to learn a little bit more or go and get a bit jiggy with the platform. And we have Frog e-learning. So as part of professional development, for example, you might want them to go and have a little look around the Frog e-learning, go and do a course on a particular part of Frog. And the nice thing is they're all certificated. So those certificates are portable. You can put the key skills learned, how many hours they've spent, and so on. And it's that sense of that sense of achievement, really, that you'd be able to get out of the e-learning. Now, I'd like to just give you a couple of testimonials because I've been talking for about 25 minutes or so now, and I'd like to share with you just a couple of examples. Firstly, from Adelaide Botanic, who are very much using this for getting things out of teachers' heads and very much around curriculum into the platform, and then from Kumanduk, who are using this very much whole school. So I shall press play. So hopefully you'll have seen some things that are of interest to you, and we're still working closely with the team in South Australia to move Frog forward, to gain insights and ideas from all of you out there and put those into Frog. And we have a close working relationship, but we also have 2 more webinars coming up. And we really would like to gather your feedback on what you would like to see next. So the next one is getting started with Frog. And that's the idea being we can take anything that you want that you've seen today. Maybe you want to hear more about dashboards. Maybe you want to hear more about the mobile app and communication tools. Or maybe you've got some keen teachers that want to explore a bit further. But really, the agenda for that is fairly open. So we would like to hear what you would like us to put in there. And then the next one, which is in October, is going further with Frog. So that's really about taking it to a whole new level. So whether you are looking at building learning resources, whether you are looking at sharing the curriculum, or whether you're looking at mobile apps for communication to help save time and money across your school, we'd love to hear from you. I'm going to hand back to Jane, who's going to basically tell you how you can get going. But there's a link here to the Frog Education website, the community site for South Australia. There's a QR code that you can zap. You can also contact the team if you're ready to get going. And we hope today has given you some insights into getting going. And yes, and that's about it. So I want to say thank you and hand back to Jane for all of the next steps.